friends. This is RuNett Nia Ebo, Poet of Purpose. And my purpose today is to share some poetry with you. I hope you enjoy, and I hope it uplifts, I hope it inspires, I hope it motivates. The first poem is called Mask, inspired by the poem by Langston Hughes called We Wear the Mask. Masks can hide our imperfections or conceal our true reflections. Masks give us a false sense of security. Masks can cover up what folks might really see. Masks enable us to live a lie. Masks always come off before we die. Masks are never worn when we are born. Masks in the corporate world are always worn. Masks can be such great disguises, covering up what the soul despises. Masks don't reveal what we don't want seen. Masks cover up what was as if it has never been. We wear the mask. Masks hide who we really are. And so many people wear masks today. Sometimes it's hard to trust what they say. My second poem is called Quiet Revolution. And is inspired by a gentleman who said that even though we weren't really doing anything vocal and out loud, there was still a quiet revolution going on. There's a quiet revolution going on. A mighty quiet revolution going on. There's a quiet revolution going on. Just because it's quiet, don't assume it isn't strong. This quiet revolution is taking place within the brothers and the sisters of the darker skin. This quiet revolution is causing a rumble among the residents of the asphalt jungle. It's quietly being born out of a rage that stirs within a free being too long in a cage. There's a quiet revolution going on. Just because it's quiet, don't assume it isn't strong. From the mouths of poets committed to the truth, telling us how the world's gone wrong and how we've been abused. It's strong enough to expose all of the deceit that took a bruised and battered world and flung it at our feet. There's a quiet revolution going on. A mighty, mighty quiet revolution going on. It's strong enough to push forward, reach out and take control. It's strong enough to call on God to save our very souls. Yes, there's a quiet revolution going on. There's a mighty, mighty quiet revolution going on. The future just got married to the children of today. So as this mighty quiet revolution surges on, if you're not committed to the cause, then you better commit to get out of the way. Because there's a quiet revolution going on. A mighty, mighty quiet revolution going on. Just because it's quiet, don't assume it isn't strong. There is a mighty quiet revolution going on. I have another book called Truth with Purpose. I co-wrote with my partner in rhyme, Victoria the Axiom Purefoy. We wrote a book called Truth with Purpose. She's truth, I'm purpose. And we co-authored this book. Don't remember how many years ago it was now, but it was pre-pandemic. This poem is called We Fought So Hard. We fought so hard. We truly fought hard back in the 60s. Fought to be treated equal. Fought so we could hold our heads up. Fought so we could be treated with dignity and respect. We fought our inner selves and low self-esteem. We fought against listening to our own people who told us, you ain't nothing, all the time. We fought against teachers who told us that we were only good for beauty salons, in housekeeping, as nurses' aides, and doing maintenance work. We fought because we'd been doing those jobs all our lives for them. We rejected the school counselors who refused to help us fill out college applications or get scholarships, and the librarians who hid our history books from us. We struggled and conquered our own inner demons that denied us and told us or had us telling ourselves that we could never achieve anything. And then we went further than high school. We rose even above our people who taunted us because we were darker than them. We ignored those relatives who made fun of us without realizing that they were ridiculing themselves. We fought so hard in the 60s. We truly, truly fought hard. We listened to Dr. King, who let us know that it's okay to have a dream, and to Malcolm X, who told us to wake up and make it happen by any means necessary. We turned black into something magnificent and natural hair into crowning glory. We looked in the mirror and saw someone worthy of love, honor, and good things in life. We helped our children embrace our history, our heritage, and our culture so they could look forward to the future, walking in the footsteps of our ancestors. We stopped making fun of ourselves and using the N-word as some sort of term of endearment. We quit laughing at things that weren't funny, especially when it was us. We stopped believing that drug dealing and flatbacking were our best occupations and abandoned the notion that the Iron Door Hotel was where we belonged. We fought so hard in the 60s. It was a struggle, but we truly fought hard. We stopped dressing like hoochies and thugs and pimps. We quit behaving like an education and using good English was only for white folk. We embraced ourselves as one of God's best creations and put the Willie Lynch syndrome to sleep. We fought hard. Yes, we did. We fought hard. And then came reality TV. So with some warped sense of pride, some of us bared our butts wearing our pants at half-mast. We showed our breasts in the name of fame and fortune. We dishonored our mothers and berated our men as we gyrated and vibrated in ways that should be reserved for the bedroom, and we called it entertainment. We talked trash, so much trash, more than the sanitation department could haul away. We put our business in the streets and on networks for everyone to see week after week after week in the name of the dollar. The new massa is green, and we sold ourselves back into slavery. We need to fight hard again. I wrote a poem. I wrote this poem because my husband, my late husband, and I spent years trying to get his benefits as a Vietnam vet. And they kept telling him that he wasn't entitled to benefits beyond a certain percentage because he was classified as a cook. However, the reality was that everybody, when the fighting started, had to pick up a gun. So no, he wasn't just a cook. He was a warrior at their command. So I wrote this poem, and the poem is called My Country's Dissing Me. America would rather forget the crisis of the Vietnam vet, so she's not taking the blame for the shame that came in the United States of America's name. Behind the parades and accolades, the government put up barricades to keep Vietnam vets from getting their true benefits. Then she plays the game claiming all vets receive the same, and her tactics are no surprise because that's the American way. My country's dissing me. My files are missing and it's a disgrace. Oh, beautiful, for spacious skies are full of countless lies told to my face. Many soldiers fought, far too many died. Blood was shed, comrades lost, but the grown burly men cried. The ones who returned were shoved to the side, half their files hidden, benefits denied. Blind soldiers, maimed soldiers, constantly in pain soldiers, soldiers struggling every day beyond PTSD. Their wounds are reminders that this country's wearing blinders, and she would rather delete Vietnam from history. Memorial, Independence, and Veterans Day, government officials have lots to say. They praise, and it goes out to laudable shouts for vets of World Wars I and II. And when being politically correct, they make sure they don't forget to mention the Korean War too. But Vietnam was called a conflict, not a war. So tell me again what our troops were fighting for, and why so many felt like whores being raped by the US of A. My country cannot see what she has done to me. She closes doors on me and says I'm no hero. Now that my hope is gone and the bad dreams go on, I try from dusk to dawn not to feel like zero. Trained to numb the brain and shoot to kill with friendly fire. Shoot at Will and Leroy, Hank and Steve and John. And then came napalm, and Agent Orange, or any other harmful foreign substance that could be used to win the fight. Some never came home. Others came back defeated. Emotions depleted, paradeless and used. Spit on by citizens, shunned by dissidents, ignored by presidents, abandoned, confused. Labeled un-American if their loved ones complained, the government continues to turn its back on their pain. Some vets were homeless, penniless, stripped of rank too. It's taken years and an awful lot of tears for Vietnam vets to be honored under the red, white, and blue. My country cannot see what just what the matter be, so I will speak for thee, Vietnam vet. Your records can't be found, schools for kids closing down, VA hospitals all around treat you with disrespect. The country's psychology was to maintain ignorology and act as if Vietnam vets and their plight would go away. But now Desert Storm, Iraq, Iran, and circumstances in Afghanistan show the harm when our troops return and Uncle Sam neglects them. America, America, I shed my blood for you. God is not pleased, and I believe that justice will be due. Yes, I'm hoping that something happens soon where we fix what's broken. But it's taken years for us to even consider that anything is wrong. But if we want to make America great again, that's what has to happen. Our true history needs to be told. And it hasn't yet. So when is that going to be? The truth will set us free. But first you got to acknowledge that there's a truth that needs to be told. Isn't that so? Yes, 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 I know. Okay, yes, let's talk about the ugly, naked truth. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that America has issues she has yet to resolve, and certain mysteries remain unsolved as one millennium dies and another begins. Why is the mutation of the red, white, and blue bring more outcries than the massacre of men of darker hue? And the beating of a black man on videotape doesn't pull as much outrage as a white girl's rape. We hold these truths to be quite evident that America's good image is dying, while our children take guns and slay other little ones. Too many countries' mothers are crying. How come the killing of a four-legged deer evokes thousands of petitions through a deluge of fear, but 41 bullets fired at one African man shoots a verdict that the public most of us don't understand? We hold these truths to be so evident that racism in America is much too prevalent. The death of an animal or the destroying of a flag generates more compassion than a Vietnam vet in rags. The words homeless and veteran within the same sentence should send Uncle Sam into a mode of repentance. When this country was established, God was set above the nation, a nation now deaf to those in incarceration. The words equal and liberty litter the Declaration, but the red, brown, and black men are abused without hesitation. Through slavery and beyond, we are given the Judas kiss. But in the words of Thomas Jefferson, we shall surely pay for this. And I'm simply quoting something that he said because he told the truth. And I believe truth is what shall set us free. So it's time we tell the truth for a change. It's funny. I wrote a poem called Tell the Truth for a Change, but I can't find it. And when I do, I will be sure to share because I believe that it is a necessary poem in this day and time because of everything that is happening all over. Oh, yes, I wrote another poem book recently, and some of the poems in this book have a lot to do with what was going on during the pandemic. And some of these poems go back even further than that. For example, I wrote a poem called A Mother Cries, and I can relate because I was one of those mothers. When the labor of love is over, when the doctor says it's a boy, when she's given birth to an African American son, a mother cries. When he gets old enough to take those first steps, when he no longer wants to hold her hand, when he realizes what a temper is and raises his little voice, a mother cries. When mommy's kisses aren't requested anymore to erase the pain away, when the torn, dirty shirt from a fight at school gets hidden in the bottom of the hamper, when that bloody nose or black eye is suddenly no big deal, a mother cries. When those first facial hairs creep through and he starts to notice girls, when his voice takes the plunge and he resists all her warnings, when he tells her to just leave him alone, a mother cries. When her phone wakes her at 3 a.m. and she hears the authority voice say the words no mother wants to hear, Miss, we have your son, a mother cries. When he looks at her with eyes so cold she doesn't know what's behind them. When the judge's sentence finally breaks. When the judge's sentence finally comes and her son's spirit finally breaks. When he's led away in handcuffs but she finally hears, love you, Mom. A mother cries. When she can only visit on weekends once a month and she's put through pat-downs like she's an inmate too. When she's forced through corridors of locking doors and the sun shines through in stripes. When her son is lost in a sea of other African American male faces. A mother cries, and she has a lot of weeping sisters. And when her son, her brother, her husband, her dad is gunned down simply because he is a black man, a sister cries, but deep down inside, she is screaming. I see so much pain in this country. I try not to cry, but it doesn't always work. And in the process, I wrote something called Homicide, Genocide, Americide. America surely dropped the ball. Dropped the ball till its kids don't feel that America cares at all. We want our kids to get a good education, but the senators and representatives won't pass gun legislation. They tell the youth to trust them because they care about what lies ahead. But the headlines expose a different truth. Uncle Sam doesn't care if they end up dead. Land of the greedy, no hope for the needy. New laws for our safety sure won't be speedy. Black, brown, and white boys soon will be out of sight, boys. Yet more black boys die by blue boys' hands, and the public doesn't care or understand that we take a knee or even take a stand so we too can be safe in this land of liberty. Liberate the guns from those who want us killed. Stop giving lip service while more blood is being spilled. Make America great again? Get rid of hate again. Do the right thing before it is too late again. I don't know about y'all, but I'm tired. I'm really, really tired. And part of the reason I'm tired is because of what's said and what I see. And they just don't match up at all. I wish justice didn't have blinders. But justice has tunnel vision. Justice wears blinders when the guilty have titles. Atonement is not a price the rich must pay. Promises made, much money paid, charges are minimized or they just go away. The supremely rich don't have to show remorse. A few well-placed Benjamins, justice gets divorced. But damaged celebrities wind up sacrificial lambs. The infamous that society has shunned show up for court and get jammed. Held up as examples in the public eye. They do the time assigned to their crime, yet there's no end. Their sentence is done. The sentence does not die. John Q. Public rants his discontent. Hence, the chance for a new life is gone. Disenchanted fans become internet trolls. So what's left of the celebrity's life is pawned. Pawned because of media blitzing over jealous snooping by anyone who wants a name. Reporters blinded by potential ratings point society's finger and keep placing blame. Tabloid journalism has wedged its way into locally broadcast news. None of these folks will ever see what's wrong unless they wind up walking in the ex-con's shoes. I am, I guess you could say, quite disillusioned. I keep voting because I believe in the power of the vote. However, I wish I could believe these people who want to run our government. I wish I could believe. I wish I could believe government officials when they say they care about the youth of this city. If I believed them, I would be out there rallying for their re-election or their election when the time comes, and I do it at the top of my lungs. However, I don't believe them. Too many of them speak with forked tongues and smile in our face while they do it. I used to have faith in the system. I had faith when David P. Richardson was state representative. I had faith when Roxanne Jones was senator. I had faith when Lucian Blackwell was city council person. There are a few others, but their names escape me. None of them were perfect, but they got things done. More important, they listened to us. You didn't, at least I didn't, go to their office for help and feel dismissed. Over and over, we've been hearing how they care about what's happening in this city, and every single time things were put in place out of concern for the young people of this city, they were taken away years later, and the excuse was always budget cuts. Playgrounds are built for youth to have a place to play. They aren't maintained, so later they are removed and replaced by anything but something to benefit the young residents of the city. Recreation centers closed. No more YMYWCA. Why? Budget cuts or lack of funding. No more horseback riding, no more art centers, and the music school that used to accept local city youth from low-income families now charge so much. The families of those youth can't afford to send their children. Local theaters that teach theater arts are too expensive, or government officials turn a deaf ear when approached for help to save them. So, they fell by the wayside too. So, the activities that could help keep kids off the street are dismantled, discontinued, or allowed to fall apart while we hear these people with deep pockets chant, "We care about the youth of the city." They ask for our faith. They asked for our trust. They asked for our vote. And we gave it because we believed they would do whatever they said, whatever they promised. Remember when people would tell you their word was their bond? Today, not so much. When do we see them now? With giant scissors cutting ribbons, with the expensive shovels scooping dirt in their expensive suits, making speeches while local citizens are being gentrified right out of their homes and youth are being shuffled from foster homes to juvenile detention centers or worse. Vote for us. We care about this city. We care about you. We care about our youth. They got upset about the things being torn down during protests. Instead of blaming the rioters, they lumped the protesters with the rioters and declared war on both. Here's an observation. They got upset with the rioters when the rioters tore up the city. But we're not supposed to get upset when they tear up the city, forcing hard-working retired residents to give up their homes? Try appealing to them for help with that and see what happens. These virtually invisible civil servants will resurface and ask for our vote yet again. So with a loud voice, we should ask them a question in the words of Janet Jackson. What have you done for me lately? I rest. I rest only because I don't want to get so riled at this point in time. But there are things that we need to do. And one of the things we need to do is realize it ain't over. The assumption is that since we have had an African American president, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s dream has been fulfilled. But first we must awake from the nightmare where too many black youth are being killed. They try to convince us that we have arrived because we finally had a man in the White House who was black. But our journey must be more focused than ever, and we have to stop holding each other back. Words spoken by many in the press all across the land want us to believe because of 44, finally we have overcome. But even when Barack Obama was president, he reminded us often that our work is not done. It is critical to grasp that it ain't over until our people come to realize it is grossly misstated that to be educated means a twisted inclination and desire to be white. Self-improvement is not a crime. We need to stop indicting each other. Instead of acting like crabs in a drum, when we rise, we should lift up another. We must embrace the fact that the divine plan for man includes those of us with a hue to our skin. You all have a great drama-free, trauma-free week. And be safe out here. Peace.